IG, the fire chief for Longview Fire Department. Today, on day 5 of this incident, I can share that we have recovered the 9th and final missing employee of this incident. As incident commander and as your fire chief, as a member of this community, I hope today will give the families so affected by this incident the closure needed to begin the long process of healing. I want to thank the families for their patience. As the response crews have worked to successfully locate and recover all victims of this tragedy. I also want to thank the counselors, chaplains for their support of the families and co-workers as they have navigated this life-changing event. I also want to thank all our local, state, federal, and contracted partners that have helped accomplish the recovery efforts. Lastly, I want to thank the community for their outpouring of support to the families and first responders that we have received as we have carefully conducted the recovery operations. Your prayers, your donations, your encouragement, every action and every word has helped us get to this point. I will now turn it over to Cowlitz County Coroner Dana Tucker.
Thank you, Chief. The Cowlitz County Coroner's Office extends our deepest condolences to the families, friends, co-workers, and all those affected by the tragic mass casualty incident that occurred on Tuesday, May 26th at the Nippon Dynaware packaging plant in Longview, Washington. First, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to everyone who has assisted in this response. Specifically, I want to thank the agencies and organizations that work directly with my office in the recovery efforts to help bring our victims home to their families. We are grateful for the dedication and professionalism of my staff at the Cowlitz County Coroner's Office, Cowlitz County Sheriff's Department, Longview Police Department, Cowlitz 2 Fire and Rescue, Longview Fire Department, the United States Army, United States Air Force, United States Coast Guard, and Republic Services, and I know I'm forgetting somebody. We also thank the Union Hall for providing a facility for the families to gather as we all respond to this, the crisis response team, Cowlitz County chaplains, Cowlitz and Lewis County Emergency Management, and many volunteers who supported this effort. The outpouring of support for our community and neighboring communities has been enormous. Countless individuals and organizations have provided food, beverages, supplies, and other resources for the Family Assistance Center, as well as for many responders working this tragic incident. Your compassion and generosity has been deeply appreciated. On Tuesday, May 26, 2026, I was notified of the tragic event at the plant. Our office immediately began preparing for what we knew would be one of the most significant tragedies our community has experienced since the eruption of Mount St. Helens. As of this afternoon, our office has recovered and identified all 9 missing individuals, along with one that was transported to St. John's Medical Center. I was also notified that another victim had been transported south to Portland Hospital. That makes 11. Our office has identified the following decedents. 52-year-old Gilberto Bernal. 29-year-old Tyler Covington. 27-year-old Brad Covington. 48-year-old Robert Wilson. 54-year-old Dale Miller. 35-year-old Jared Ammons. 38-year-old Braden Finkus. 26-year-old Clinton Duran. 51-year-old John Forsberg. And 58-year-old Norman Barlow. We ask everybody to respect the privacy, time, and space of these families as they navigate this unimaginable loss. This is a horrific tragedy that has profoundly impacted our community, and we appreciate the public's continued compassion and support. I want to also note, I forgot to mention, he's not in my jurisdiction, but since he was here in one of the 11, I was notified it was Dylan Miller. In closing, I'd like to now turn things over to Deputy Chief Kurt Stitch with Cowlitz 2 Fire and Rescue.
Good afternoon. My name is Kurt Stitch. I'm the Deputy Chief with Cowlitz 2 Fire and Rescue, and I've been serving as the Operations Chief for this incident. That is Kurt Stitch, K-U-R-T-S-T-I-C-H. Today, as with other days, our crews were working in indoor areas that was littered with desks and large cabinets and debris that was from this event. It was physically laborious work. It was very difficult. There was heavy items to be moved, and they had to continually inspect the area. Meanwhile, we were also conducting drone flyovers where we were trying to cover areas that we had not yet encountered to make sure that we were not missing anything. We were also walking areas to ensure that same thing. This work has been intense, it's been methodical, and incredibly difficult for everyone that's been involved. From the operations section, I'm grateful for the professionalism of all who participated in this event. Now I would like to turn it over to Scott Tift, the president of the AWPPW.
Good afternoon. Scott Tift, S-C-O-T-T-T-I-F-T. I am the Association of Western Pulp and Paper Workers National Union President. First and foremost, our thoughts remain with the families, co-workers, and everyone impacted by this tragedy. The loss and heartbreak being experienced right now extends far beyond this facility and far beyond this community. Entire families, lifelong friendships, workplaces, and communities across the region have been deeply affected. And our entire union stands beside every person carrying that grief and uncertainty today. As someone who lives here and knows many of these families, I want to acknowledge the extraordinary outpouring of love and support this community has shown. Over the past several days, people from across this region and across the country have stepped up in ways that have been deeply meaningful to our members and their families during the darkest moments of their lives. I also want to recognize and thank the recovery personnel, emergency responders, contractors, facility personnel, and everyone working on site. The efforts to safely recover our members required extraordinary professionalism, care, and coordination under incredibly difficult and dangerous conditions. And that meant more than words can express to these families and to this union. We understand the heartbreak surrounding how long this process has taken, but it was critical that this work be done carefully, methodically, and safely. It was equally important that recovery efforts were conducted in a way that preserved the integrity of the scene and ensures investigators have the ability to fully determine what happened and get these families and this community the answers they deserve. Our union is continuing to coordinate with local, state, and federal agencies as these efforts move forward. Right now, our focus remains on supporting the families, supporting our members, and supporting everyone affected by this tragedy in every way possible. These were not just employees or union members, they were fathers, sons, friends, mentors, and co-workers who helped build this facility and this community every single day. We honor their lives, we stand with their families they leave behind, and we remain committed to stand with this community through every step of the investigation and cleanup process ahead. We would like all donations to be sent. They should be sent directly to www.cwclc.org. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Frangie Mays, PIO for this event. Now we'll take your questions. Please raise your hand. We'll call on you. State your name and the media outlet you represent. And to allow everyone a chance to ask a question, please limit yourself to one question at a time. And we'll conclude the question and answers at 4 p.m., no later than 4 p.m. Questions?
Why can't they come over here and ask the company questions?
I don't know if I can answer that question.
What about you, Mr. Wood?
I mean, it's no disrespect to the families, right? It's just been the policy for the conferences. So we've just allowed media in, but it is absolutely no disrespect to them, from what I understand. So it's just been policy, so I apologize. Yes, sir.
Can you describe the process for identifying those victims this past week, like your office?
So our office has multiple ways of identifying. Here on scene was a little bit more complicated, but we do a tentative identification. My staff in the very beginning asked multiple questions of identifying factors, and then as we brought one person in, then I went through those identifying factors and was able to take that list and compare them with multiple different areas of that. Now, and each individual went through that process, and that's how I was able to identify them. We call it tentatively because we're required to do a forensic identification. So each one of them will also go through that process of a forensic identification, which would be, at the moment, say dental records or whatever. So once we get them where they need to go, then we coordinate with our odontologist, our anthropologist, whoever, and then we can take certain things to be able to do a forensic identification. But as of currently, I have multiple identifying factors to be able to identify each one of them. Okay, did that answer your question?
I guess also, can you describe just being these on a scene like this, given that all the hazardous conditions as well?
I don't think that that's appropriate at the moment. I'll just say it was a little bit difficult. So, okay, thank you.
Thank you for your question.
Jack,
In the back.
Power Room 7. Now that the recovery is finished, what does the rest of the cleanup look like? I mean, we saw some heavy machinery going around today. How does this change things, and what is the next few days look like?
Well, on site, they'll begin the investigation process, which has already began. and the recovery efforts of the facility. That's a process that will continue through the days, weeks, potentially months, as Nippon decides what they do with the facility from here moving forward. I can't answer those questions, but I can get with the PIO and have the details of that brought forward to you at a later date. But as of now, for our part, as we're still working on the ensuring that, and I'll leave that answer to Chris Collins. You want to answer that question?
Sure.
Mike?
Hi, Chris Collins, CHRISCOLLINS. I'm the Public Works Director for the City of Longview. The on-site work will continue to mitigate the site. The off-site work is ongoing as we continue to mitigate any contaminants or issues that both immediate as well as ongoing.
How do you mitigate that?
It's many factors. There's many methods in which we're applying to mitigate any off-site contamination and impacts. So lots of different things.
Next question.
I had a question for the EPA, kind of in this cleanup process. Has there been any other wildlife impacts involved?
You want to answer that?
Well, what I can tell you is that Brooks Stanfield, BROOKS STANFIELD. I'm with the EPA. I'm a federal on-scene coordinator. As we've talked about in past days, we have seen dead fish in the ditches in the canal network in Longview, and the numbers have steadily increased day to day. We've seen an increasing number of those dead fish. We continue to observe ourselves, and we're getting reports through our hotline that are reporting in dead fish, and that's actually helping our crews direct our resources to go and see, investigate those areas and recover those fish where we can, where it's safe to do so. We think that system is working, and so we are still encouraging the public to use that hotline, which is 1-800-22-BIRDS, BIRDS. Other than those dead fish, there have been a few tadpoles and other small wildlife such as that have been observed dead, but that is the extent of what we've observed in terms of wildlife impacts.
Okay, one more question. I'm not prepared to make any of those. I'm not prepared to give any of those answers today. We just kind of wanted to focus on the recovery efforts and successes that we've had recently. So if we can keep the comments and questions to those relevant topics, please. Thank you. That's a great question. I don't have the full details of all the conditions of the patients because they were transferred to multiple facilities. And there's laws against us getting all that information quickly. So I'll have our PIO send out something in the future to give some more details on that topic.
Where exactly are these dead fish being found? Like, is it a particular neighborhood or street, or can you give a more specific location?
I think Washington Department of Ecology actually has better detail for you on that.
Yeah.
So I'm Courtney Sarad, the State On-Scene Coordinator with the Washington State Department of Ecology, COURTNEYSERAD. So as my colleague with the EPA stated earlier, we have had vast numbers of reports, and those reports are continuing to help us target our efforts. We have had reports of fish predominantly in the ditches, and the vast majority of those fish are carp. We have been working on other alternatives to collect more of the fish, and we continue to be successful in doing that.
Would you say that the dead fish are closer to the facility, or?
The majority of the fish that we are collecting are closer to the ditches.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for your questions. Thank you.
I just asked a question.